Hey everybody, welcome again to the Karim Ghelani Show, where we talk about the human psyche, our mental well-being, happiness, health, and ultimately achieving our goals, bringing more abundance into our life, and creating a world full of joy, peace, and kindness. So today we're going to talk about a subject that's a little bit interesting to me because I've gone through this, and that's anxiety and depression. Now, how do we deal with this on a personal basis? Well, first of all, we have to figure out what our anxiety is triggered by. Now, sometimes there's not always triggers. Sometimes it's just an internal chemical imbalance, and we just have to understand that. So the first thing that I would recommend you do is to go to a physician and tell them exactly what's going on in your body. Now that's going to do two things. First of all, it's going to give you peace of mind that you are probably 99.9% in perfect health. Okay? Secondly, it's going to give you peace of mind that you're a healthy person and that the anxiety is a chemical reaction to all the built up emotions and the pent up emotions that have been in your body for maybe 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. It doesn't matter. Now, people that say anxiety isn't real, hey guys, I have anxiety. So I'm telling you it's real, but there's ways to cope. I'm going to give you some practical examples on how you could actually transmute this anxiety and turn it into excitement, turn it into happiness, and turn it into joyful moments. Now, after you've got a full clearance from your physician and you're all good, go ahead and start these practices. If you have to seek therapy, seek therapy. There's no shame in seeking therapy. Anybody that says, oh, that person is weak because they're in therapy, or, did you hear so and so is in therapy? Hey, you know what? The bravest thing that you could do is get into therapy because you're taking care of your mental well being. And that's more important than anything else. Because once you're at peace, you can essentially give that peace out to others. And you always want to be at a good mental well being. You always want to be in a good mental state. Now, that doesn't mean that you can be happy all the time. What it does mean that you can have a base level frequency at a 7, 7, 8, which is essentially contentment. So you're content and you're not having these outbursts of anxiety and depressive episodes. Now, after you've gone to the physician, what I'd suggest you first start doing is identifying what triggers your anxiety. Are there certain things in your life? Are there certain situations in your life? Are there certain people in your life that trigger that anxiety? Be crystal clear on what makes you anxious and what makes you happy, okay? Now, you have to understand that there's many components to anxiety and it's not a one size fits all solution. You're not one in a million. You're 1 in 8 billion. You each came here with an individual thumbprint and you're one of a kind. So your anxiety might not feel like anybody else's anxiety. So when you say I'm anxious because I have to go on a job interview, somebody else could be feeling like an anxiety attack where they feel like they're having a heart issue. That's why it's so important to be checked by a physician, first of all, and that's going to clear all of your health anxiety away. You're going to know you're in perfect health. So now what you start doing is really start living your life to the fullest. Okay? Start with one thing. And this one thing is going to really open yourself up to the natural cures that exist out there. One of them is breathwork. Sometimes we forget the most valuable asset that we have as human beings is our own breath. Just a simple in and out breath can change our whole perspective, can make us less reactive, and can calm our nervous system. Let's start with diaphragmatic breathing first. So diaphragmatic breathing is best when you're having an anxiety attack, okay? And this is when you take your diaphragm and you inhale deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale on a 4 count. Okay? Keep doing that. Now, once you do that, what your body is doing is essentially it's releasing oxytocins or good chemicals in your body that are actually helping you relax, calm your nervous system, and bringing you into a soothing and mindful state of being. A mindful state of being that creates an equilibrium rather than a mode of panic and anxiety. Keep doing that breathing exercise. Keep doing it. Keep practicing it. Sometimes add a mantra to it. One of my favorite mantras is I'm breathing in peace, calmness, and relaxation, and I'm releasing everything that does not serve me. Whether that's places, whether that's people, whether there's situations, remove those from your life if you have to. However, there are, as always, exceptions, okay? Now, you might be in a work situation where your coworkers or your boss or your manager or whoever it may be at work is causing you anxiety. They're putting on deadlines on you and they're making you feel extremely anxious. The first thing you can do is take a break. Take a 3 to 5 minute break and just say, hey, I'll be right back. I need to use the restroom. When you go into the restroom, look in the mirror and say, I'm perfectly okay. I'm going to be fine. I'm in perfect health right now, and I'm going to breathe. And this breath is going to cure me at this current moment and make me feel relaxed. Take that breath. Use that method I just described from your diaphragm all the way up to your throat chakra, all the way up to your crown chakra, and then release through your mouth. Okay? Notice the difference you'll feel when you do that. Breath work is extremely important when dealing with anxiety. Let me repeat. Breath work is extremely effective when dealing with anxiety. There's other methods as well. There's the Wim Hof method. There's the holotropic method, the alternative nostril breathing method, where essentially you're breathing through one nose and out the other. I'll just do it in real time. We got time. Let's make it happen, right? All right. So here we go. Now, what you're doing here is that you're relaxing your nervous system, you're calming your nerves, and you're creating a sense of balance. Balance is so important. Now, happiness and being at a content state of mind is sometimes it's hard to define what our happiness is. So, one thing you can do to incrementally increase your happiness is first of all define what makes you happy and be crystal clear about what makes you happy. Is it your family? Is it going to the beach? Is it taking a walk outside? And speaking of walks, exercise, guys. Exercise is one of the key components of removing anxiety from your life, or at least transmuting it. Because transmutation is the process of turning one emotion into another, like turning anxiety into excitement, turning fear into love, turning depression into joy. How do we do that? Well, again, there's not a one size fits all method. However, these methods are proven. These aren't metaphysical aspects that somebody has just made up. These are thousands and thousands of years of practice that have been going on and have worked through generations and ancestral lineages. So breath work, guys, extremely important for anxiety. The second thing, just as important as breath work, exercising. I said it again. I might repeat myself. I just want to get the point across to you, and I hope I am. Just taking a walk outside, okay? Now, if you don't have a backyard or something, or, it's cold outside, whatever the case may be, start by getting a treadmill. Do that. But I highly recommend walks outside. I highly recommend walks outside, at least 20 to 30 minutes. Now, what that does is that it releases positive oxytocins. It releases serotonin, which is our happy chemical in our brain. It releases dopamine. It removes mental brain fog. It brings you in tune with nature. It grounds you to your root chakra, which is located just below your spine. And we'll talk about that in another episode. Chakras are extremely important, and balancing them is vital to your health. But start with that 20-minute walk. Now, when you're doing that 20-minute walk, make sure that you look around you. Make sure you look at the wonders of the world. Make sure you look at the trees. Make sure you look at the sky. If you're doing a walk in the park, make sure you look at the animals that are around you. Maybe you have a park where there's swans or there's birds flying, or there's, a hummingbird or a dragonfly that flies by you, or butterflies. Notice all those intricate details. Notice the color of life. Stay in gratitude. Be grateful for those little things, those little moments of joy, because happiness can always not be a linear path of sustainability, that it's going to be a situation where you're constantly happy. But by doing these steps and incorporating these into your daily life, you can make big, substantial differences to your overall mental being and your physical well-being. When I started walking, I started losing weight. I started feeling better. My skin started getting better because I had a huge skin problem. By the way, guys, this right here is all lighting, okay? I actually went through so much anxiety in my life. I used to go through these tremendous acne breakouts, and it would be like 4 or 5 days of me just being like, I can't go outside. I can't do anything. What am I going to do? I got acne. But then I said, you know what? It's a part of me. I've got to accept it. And it is what it is, for lack of a better term. It is what it is. I had to accept it as part of me being a human being, and having a small little flaw like acne is no big deal. We've got to embrace our flaws because we all have them, whether they're internal or external, physical or mental. We all have them. We're not perfect. We're human beings. For some people, they'll say we're spiritual beings having a human experience, which is even more deep. That's what I believed in. That's what Wayne Dyer believed in. Now, Dolores Cannon said something else. She said, this world is a play. It's a giant stage. You're the author, you're the producer, you're the director of your own play. So if you don't like the script, flip the script, change the script, go back to the script, rewrite. And journaling is another thing that helps a great deal. When you first wake up tomorrow morning, start writing what you want your day to look like. Exactly. Be crystal clear. Be crystal clear about how you want your day to look like. You wake up at 6 a.m., you say, okay, all right, this is my day. Today, I'm going to accomplish these things. Today, I will react this way. Today, these things will be accomplished. Today, I will be peaceful. Today, if anxiety does come, I will know how to handle it. I have the tools. Another tool to deal with anxiety, which helped me a great deal, was meditation. A lot of people talk about meditation, so I'm going to talk about it too. All right. Now, meditation is very similar to the breathing technique. The only difference I would say is that you're in a still, quiet position. And try to do it in a place where you feel very calm, whether that's individually or in a group environment. It doesn't matter. Wherever you feel the most at peace, okay? You can do this in your room. Turn down the lights. Put on some relaxing music if you have to. If you want to do guided meditation, those videos are available on YouTube as well. If you want to do a meditation where you're completely silent and where there's complete silence around you, do that as well. Close your eyes. Picture a white light radiating through your body and just breathe in and out. And use whatever mantra feels comfortable to you. Maybe use a mantra like, I am peace, I am calm, I am love. When you use these mantras and you put yourself in that stillness, you won't believe the amount of peace that will come into your life. Take it from me. Meditation helped me so much. I can't even explain it. I have to meditate every day now. And if I don't meditate in a quiet space, I start doing guided meditation on YouTube. Very easy to find. After this video, click on guided meditation. You'll get about 30 videos and they'll guide you through each step. Breathe in, breathe out. Now visualize the ocean, visualize the sky, visualize what you want your life to look like. And for that matter, live your life as if all of your desires have already come true. Live in the present moment, okay? Now the third thing I'm going to talk about, which helped me a great deal with my anxiety, which still does, is yoga. All right. Now it's mainstream now. You can go anywhere and do yoga. I would start with going to a yoga studio. Google yoga studio near me. You'll find 10 places. Call them up. See how you like the vibe. Talk about vibration. So if you like the vibe of that place, go ahead and take a class and see what that does for you. Now, the first time I walked into a yoga class, it was pretty embarrassing. All right. So I'm just giving you a heads up on the vibe when you get in there. Most of you will know, but I wasn't as privy to the situation. So I went in there. I had my gel on, I had my Japanese pomade. Because of my acne, I went ahead and put on tinted sunscreen. I had my Hugo Boss sweatshirt on. I had my Nike joggers and I had my Air Jordans on, and I was just like, I walked in there and everybody looked at me like, is this guy going to a club? I mean, I felt like a hip hop dancer in a ballet class. I felt like completely out of place, but I still went ahead and did it. Now, another thing that I didn't think of was the temperature in the room. So essentially, it's pretty hot in there, right? You got about 50 people crammed in, and they turn up the heat because they want you to sweat. Okay, the class starts. I'm looking completely different than everybody else, first of all, which is okay. Uniqueness is fine. But you want to be comfortable in your yoga class. Roll up just as you would as you're going in your pajamas, a nice white t-shirt, whatever you want to wear. There's no judgment there. Speaking of no judgment, was the breakthrough moment for me. So that first class, it starts getting hot. The gel from my hair starts pouring down my face. Okay, the tinted sunscreen from my face starts dripping down onto my boss sweatshirt, and I'm getting embarrassed now. I'm thinking people are watching me. Nobody's watching me. They're all doing their own thing. They're all in their own world. But the instructor noticed I was having some trouble not only with my appearance, and I'm trying to fix this, and I'm wiping off my shirt, but she also noticed I was having trouble with the poses. She gently came over to me and she touched me on the back and she said, "No judgment here." Completely changed my paradigm. I said, "Forget it. You know what? Whatever I look like, whatever I'm doing, if I'm falling down during tree pose, then it's okay. If I'm not, balancing myself out in warrior pose, then it's perfectly fine." Another great thing about yoga, it teaches you humility as well. Take child's pose, for example. You bow down to the earth, giving it grace, giving it gratitude, and being thankful for being on this earth. You know, the chances of you being on this earth is like 1 in a trillion. If there's any mad statisticians down below, they'll probably comment. Please do and correct me if I'm wrong. But, it's just one of those things where it's best to do it in a group environment because everybody there is there to heal. And the energy and frequency and vibration in that room is just electric in a very calm way. There's essential oils. Everybody's there just to heal themselves. Additionally, it's amazing for your health, your physical health. If you have back problems or if you have leg problems, first of all, go to a doctor, okay? Secondly, though, I'm just saying yoga also helps with physical ailments as well. I've had a back problem for years since I was 20, 22, right? I'm not going to tell you my age. I probably did last time. All right. But when you do those poses, it actually helps your flexibility and it also helps with your circadian rhythm, right? Because you're breathing in and out just like those three. It's the trilogy, guys. It's meditation, breath work, and yoga. Now you combine all those three elements, man, you got the golden ticket. And your anxiety levels are going to decrease by 50, 60, 70%. Now, if you want to seek therapy and you add that into your anxiety regimen as well, and you have somebody to speak to that genuinely listens to you, because you can't always go to your friends for your problems. You can sometimes, and I'd recommend you do, but they have stuff that they're going through as well. And so having a professional, and I'm in therapy. Did you guys already know? I mean, I think you probably guessed I was, right? But when you go to therapy, you have somebody that you can actually talk to and they can give you some feedback. Some of them do and some of them don't. It really depends on the therapist. So do your research in regards to the therapist you want as well. So use those modalities. You have the toolkit. You have yoga. You have meditation. You have breath work. You have therapy. Another thing you can try is music, sound frequencies. Those changed my life as well. The sound frequencies that you can find easily at the tip of your fingertips on YouTube. Just do a search. Try this one, 528 hertz frequency. It's the frequency of love. When I listen to that before I go to sleep, I feel this tranquil calmness that I can't even put into words. Try another one, 432 hertz. That's the calming frequency. That's the relaxation frequency. That's the miracle frequency. Listen to that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and see how you feel after. Because sound is just a vibration, and you want to stay in that positive vibration, that positive frequency. As Nikola Tesla, one of the most innovative human beings that ever lived on this earth, in my opinion, Nikola Tesla, in the 1890s. He was born in the 1890s, and he was the father, in my opinion, of technology and science in general. You can correct me if you're wrong. Look, I'm an Einstein fan too. But Tesla did some groundbreaking things. And he said, if you want to know the secret to the universe, there's three things: frequency, energy, and vibration. Once you master those, you have the keys to the universe. Let me repeat that. Once you master your frequency, your vibration, and your energy, you have unlocked the keys to the universe. How powerful is that? And start reading, start writing, start reading great authors. And I'm going to give you some suggestions. Start reading Wayne Dyer. Amazing. Start reading Dolores Cannon. She has some amazing theories that she talks about. Start reading Alan Watts. He's honestly, I think, one of the first comedic geniuses that was also a philosopher. Start reading Louise Hay and The Power of Affirmations. Start reading Eckhart Tolle. These have been my guides on earth, these books that I've read. And if you don't want to read them, listen to the audiobooks right before you go to sleep. Do a meditation, listen to an audiobook, and take that information in, because it's all positive frequency and positive vibration. They have positive messages. And you'll learn so much, not only about how the world works, but how you work internally as a human being. All right? So I'm going to leave it at that today. Thank you so much for joining me, my superstars, my celebrities, my healers. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Peace, love, and blessings.